Hi, everyone, and welcome to Star Trek Renegade. Thank you for joining us for an evening of Star Trek Adventures, published by Modiphius Entertainment. I'm Chris, and I'll be your Games Master for tonight, and we're thrilled to be streaming at twitch.tv/adventureswanted and twitch.tv/Modiphius. So, for those of you who are new to Star Trek Adventures, we have a whole series of Star Trek Adventures we've been making. They are all available on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/adventureswanted, where you can find other stories that we've been working on. Well, if you'd like to dive in right now, let me just run you quickly through how the game works. Modiphius and a lot of Modiphius products use a 2d20 system, so you're rolling two 20-sided dice, and you're trying to roll low numbers. Ones are good, 20s are hilariously bad. So D&D players, feel free to suddenly get very confused and go, what? I don't understand. This is confusing. Anyway. The players have character sheets in front of them. The players are allowed to add numbers on those together to make numbers they have to roll under. This will get covered as we play the game. Don't worry. No issues on that front hugely.
I like the implication that we're allowed to do math.
You're allowed. You're allowed to do maths. That is correct.
Volunteer to do maths.
Yeah. So with that in mind, I'm going to pass to my lovely players and ask them to introduce themselves. Please give your name and your pronouns, and we'll wait for your characters to be introduced as part of the story. So let's just start off there, starting with Emma, since you're next to me.
I mean, yes, in life, but not on the overlay. My name's Emma. I use, lots of different pronouns. I'm gender fluid, but today I'm using she, her pronouns.
Thank you. George?
Yes, my name's George, and I use he, him pronouns.
Thank you, George. Anna?
My name's Anna. I use she, her pronouns.
Splendid. Red?
And I'm Red, and I'm using he, him.
Splendid. Thank you very much, everybody. So, let us kick off. The stream will run for approximately 3 to 4 hours, depending on how long these bumblefucks take to tell the story. I know. There'll be a roughly 10-minute break somewhere near the middle, and we're delighted to be sponsored, as always, by Ultra Pro and D&D Beyond. Ultra Pro make RPG game accessories and peripherals. You can find loads of competitions and things on our Twitter channel. That's twitter.com/adventurerswanted. Have a look there for various things we've done in the past with them. They're just happily sponsoring today, so big thanks to Ultra Pro as always. We're also sponsored by D&D Beyond. Hey, if you like RPGs, you might like D&D. We have loads of Dungeons & Dragons games on our YouTube channel and Twitch channel again. We are playing a different one today, obviously. D&D Beyond is a digital tool set for Dungeons & Dragons and is absolutely brilliant and a very good way of looking at the rules compendium and stories and everything online in one easy to access location. So dndbeyond.com. Check them out as well. Grand. Finally, we play with a diverse range of players who play a diverse set of characters with wide-ranging sexual and gender identities. Our tables are trans-positive, and we encourage and champion trans players and characters in our games. The DM and players may portray characters that are of a different gender to their own, and while we aim to avoid misgendering, it does sometimes happen. So if it does, we will be on the lookout for it, and we have a policy for correction. If we miss any, or you think there's something we've done wrong, do send us a message, let us know. Thank you very much. Cool. Without further ado.
Oh, that was grim.
Star Trek. Good. I'm not going to give the star dates. I've been reliably informed they are now out of fashion. So the year is roughly 2370, I think 74.
That's so rough.
Yeah, 2374, something like that. The good ship Pegasus, on which we find ourselves today, has been in transit. The good ship Pegasus has been doing some exploring, as Star Trek ships are wont to do, and has been exploring for quite a long time now, a part of the Beta Quadrant known as the Shackleton Expanse. The mission has gone badly. In a nutshell, the mission was supposed to take a year. Quick recce, have a look around, see what you can find, come back, tell us what's in the Beta Quadrant, and specifically what's in the Shackleton Expanse. However, the ship was almost immediately beset by the Borg. And in being beset by the Borg, the ship took some serious damage, had to be repaired, refitted. Different people had to be found on various planets to help with this process. The chief engineer cacked it in the first episode of this series, which, that's not this series that we're running right now. That's the series about the ship Pegasus, which hasn't been made. But yes, the chief engineer is gone, and a liberated Borg by the name of 6 of 4, some adjuncts in there as well, I can't remember what they are, but 6 of 4 was liberated from the Borg collective already when they encountered him, and has now taken over the role of ship's engineer, adding some Borg technology to the Pegasus to help it in its attempt to get out of the Shackleton Expanse and return home. Engineer Abam Todd and Lieutenant Latara Salt, not engineer, sorry. What is it? Bam's the pilot. So yes, and Lieutenants Bam Todd and Latara Sul have been with the crew for some time. That's Todd being Anna and Sul being Emma. And they have also picked up a strange android. Some would say quite similar to a certain lieutenant commander from the Next Generation series, who they found on a remote planet and who's been working as the ship's nurse, as the medical officer is still around for the time being. So...
Red is such a fetching colour, isn't it?
Yeah. Pegasus is currently quite a motley crew. Captain Yamata has certainly been struggling to hold everyone together, and they have also been having difficulties maintaining their command, not because of any sense of issue or impropriety from the ship, but this mission was supposed to be an easy one. It has not, and they have been struggling severely with how to deal with these situations. Commander Bilby, she has been doing a lot of the routine commanding of the ship and dealing with who goes what and does what where. But she's also not particularly strong-willed enough to tell the captain what to do. So there's been quite a sort of meandering journey back at this point in time, although you are about to leave the Shackleton Expanse, and as you do so, move your way back into Federation space. So when we meet the Pegasus is now making its way out of the Shackleton Expanse towards a Federation colony on the very outskirts of the Federation, hoping to return home. Ooh. Where would we like to start? Where would everyone be on the ship at this point?
Probably on the bridge.
You're on the bridge, okay.
Yeah.
So where do we see Sul? What does Sul normally do on the bridge?
On the security desk.
Okay, so you're at the security desk. Yeah, there is a security desk, absolutely. And you are there just doing routine checks, making sure everything's all right?
Yeah, keeping an eye on things.
Cool.
Watching everybody.
Yep. People seem
despairing.
People seem to be generally quite... There's a good mood. People had thought this mission would be a lot shorter than it was. And because of the various repairs that have to have been done, various missions the ship has been pulled on to try and help people over the course of the last 2 years, people are generally breathing a sigh of relief that they can finally get a chance to get home.
Okay.
I guess that Todd would also be there, Anna, because you're the ship's helmsman, so you'd be sat at the helm.
I'm driving it.
Cool. The two of you are on the ship. The commander is sat in the captain's chair, tends to be at this point. The captain will be in their quarters and doesn't tend to come out much anymore at this point.
Yeah.
Commander Bilby will look at both of you. Anything to report, anybody?
Is there anything to report?
Why don't you roll me your first task?
Ooh.
So, you are rolling. Do you want to do a census sweep? Do you want to...
Yes, I want to do a census sweep.
Census sweep.
Latara is Bajoran, so she has the typical Bajoran sort of ruffled nose.
Mm-hmm.
She is wearing an earring, but it's quite a subtle earring.
Mm-hmm.
And she's wearing a yellow shirt because she is chief of security.
Cool. When it comes to doing a census sweep, do you...
And she has a phaser, big phaser. Not huge phaser, bigger than standard.
Right. Can you roll me a reason plus sciences task?
No.
Right, that's how you use this. That's how you do a census sweep.
Oh, can it not be, because I'm scanning for hostile things, can I not use my security?
Okay, I'll say it's a security sweep, so reason plus security, please.
Oh god.
And you also are assisted by the ship's sensors plus sciences.
Can I have something? Is this investigation? I have a focus in investigation.
No.
How about shipboard tactical systems?
You're using the shipboard. No, the tactical systems are the guns, so you're not using the guns.
Fine.
Can I assist visually on the screen?
No, one person uses the ship, so you roll.
It's a 12.
You're trying to roll a 12 or under.
Oh, I have rolled a 12 and a 5, so
Excellent.
That is 2 successes.
Can you also roll me 1d20 with the ship's sensors and sciences? So that is the ship's 10 sensors and sciences to 12 as well.
That is a 15.
Cool, ship doesn't help you at all.
This ship is bad.
You gain 2 momentum.
Why 2?
Hey.
Because it was a difficulty 0 task.
Oh.
You do a broad sensor sweep of the area. The ship is currently flying out of the Shackleton Expanse, which isn't particularly well documented, but you've got some maps of the area because of your journeys.
Yeah.
And you are flying towards a Federation colony known as Haven.
Haven.
It is not far away, and the ship should be arriving in the next roughly hour or so.
Great. So I didn't sense anything hostile.
No, nothing hostile at all.
Okay. Nothing to report, Commander.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Lieutenant.
Well, are we expecting the captain today?
I don't know. I think it's fair to say they'll be best pleased when we're home.
Yes, I'm sure.
How is Bilby feeling?
Would you like to describe why Todd would know how Bilby's feeling?
Lieutenant Todd is a betazoid and a very, very empathic and empathetic one at that.
Bilby is, and this is a feeling you often get from Bilby, mildly concerned. She knows full well that this has been a difficult mission and that it's taken its toll on the captain and the crew and herself. And thus she is in a constant, slightly heightened state of awareness of trying to keep everyone happy. You also, as you know from Commander Bilby, who spent a lot of time with her, she also feels reticent about doing anything to, quote unquote, take command or countermand any orders. And again, there's this feeling of, I could do many other things to make this situation go better, but I'm not going to. I know my place.
So I just turn to her and say, we're nearly there now.
I know. Thank you, Lieutenant. I'm aware. She keys in computer. Please contact main engineering. Down in engineering. 6. What's happening in engineering?
Hello, Commander. Everything's fine. Conversation is inefficient.
Red, do you want to describe the chief engineer as they start yelling randomly into the air?
What better introduction?
The chief engineer is Freed Borg, who was previously a Ferengi, and is now the chief of engineering on the ship. And while they are very much Borg, I feel as though the manufactured components that remain within them, their cybernetic elements, are perhaps beginning to malfunction, and there's, I don't know, a sense of falling apartness to this individual.
Mm-hmm. So the engineering of the Pegasus, which would normally be a classic warp core, nacelle, and everything else, has some Borg technology parts built into it, and some of the crew are also liberated Borg. 6 and some of 6's companions were liberated by a device that 6 owns. We'll probably get to that later. But this small crew of Borg are helping the ship to fly faster and better. And it is a slightly strange thing to have aboard a Starfleet vessel, so there is a slightly strange atmosphere in the engineering. Also because despite 6 being not part of the crew, 6 has been made chief engineer because 6 is the most qualified, which is also causing some friction.
Are the engines fine? Just while I'm is the ship in good health at this point?
Can you roll me a power management check? So use your daring or control with engineering.
Okay, so that gives me a 4 for control and a 4 for engineering. Oh no, so an 11 for control and a 4 for engineering.
Great.
So 15. I roll a 4 and a 15.
So that's 2 successes.
2 successes, yeah.
Lovely, you gain another momentum. You now have 3. The ship appears to be absolutely fine. The systems that you have built in, the Borg integration with the Starfleet technology, is not always grand. There's a lot of jury rigging and exposed wiring in engineering that shouldn't be there. But you have how do you test this? How are you plugging in?
So there's wires dangling everywhere. There's sort of sparks going off in the background.
Yeah.
I've probably got some kind of device in one hand, but I've got a huge, massively oversized arm, which doesn't really have fingers and just has sort of components. And it's currently just attached to the wall, just kind of throbbing things.
Now, because your arm is a special engineering arm, you do gain 1 extra success automatically. So that's another momentum that you have now gained. You now have 4 momentum as a crew. Is it 4? Yeah, it's 4.
Yes.
So you can do a quick sweep of the ship. The ship is fine. It's got its traditional nuts and bolts. It's never perfect. And of course, with all this jury-rig technology, some bits may go wrong every now and again. But for now, she appears to be quite functional.
Good. I would convey that information to my commander.
Good. Go ahead.
Everything's fine, Commander. I mean, we had a bit of a thing earlier when part of the warp drive fell out, but we got it back, so it's all right.
The atmosphere on the bridge is frosty.
Did he just say that part of the warp drive fell out?
I have learned over the last couple of months to not ask questions like that, Sol.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has it under control.
He tends to.
Yeah.
He tends to.
Yeah.
In the captain's quarters, Saw, would you like to describe what you look like and how you are currently tending to the captain, who is... They're not ill, but you are smart enough to know, and you have been assigned to look after them, as they are clearly in some mental distress.
Okay. So, yes, Saw is, as previously discussed, an android. I've got the quite sort of pale, waxy skin, very human-like. Like everything is done to look human, but it's not quite. There's not like verisimilitude of humanity. Yeah. So they're sort of they clearly like sort of pale yellow eyes, quite pale, and like slightly waxy-looking skin, and quite an unexpressive face and sort of demeanor. But he carries himself very sort of like perfect posture, but in that quite uncanny way, which is a bit unsettling. Yeah, and I've been assigned to look after the captain. Is this sort of tending to their sort of needs, or actually trying to sort of make more an investigation as to...
The ship's medical officer will have noticed that the captain is not doing very well. And they will probably have assigned you to check on the captain occasionally, make sure they're doing all right, and also to ask them how they are and try and tease out if there are any problems, because if the captain is actually ill, if there's actually a problem, then they can be relieved of command by the medical officer. But at this point, the captain hasn't given any indication that they might be. The medical officer, the doctor on board ship, is just concerned.
Okay. And this is Captain Yamata?
This is Captain Yamata, yes.
Captain Yamata.
Yeah.
How do you feel today?
They are currently, they're in uniform. They're all like, they're sat at their desk and just spending a lot of time, what looks like reading the same data pad over and over again.
And the same content on it, nothing
Yes.
sort of changing. Can I try and skim over their shoulder while conversing?
To go round their desk and skim over their shoulder.
Okay, no, if I'm on the other side of the desk, fair enough, yeah. No, I'll address them. How are you feeling today, Captain?
Fine. Supposed to be a year. It's been a bit longer. Yes, looking forward to home. Hope there are no more complications turn up. That would don't need any more complications, do we?
We didn't need any complications in the first place, Captain.
No, we didn't, did we?
I imagine we may proceed without issue, or there may be urgent issues on the way. We are certainly moving into a safer sector, as I understand it.
Yes.
How are you clearly struggling for words a little bit? There's a slight switch in demeanor, like a more sort of human-like facial expression, but in the very composed and settle on the face kind of way that goes more uncanny rather than less uncanny, I expect. And a shift in the cadence of his voice to sort of try and do a bit of bedside manner as instructed.
Oh, God.
How are you coping?
Am I to take it that the doctor is concerned?
Doctor is sent me to do a routine investigation, see if there's anything that would assist you or that you need at this time.
A routine investigation of my health, is it?
Is it not normal for medical staff of a ship to be concerned for their captain's well-being?
It is. You can tell Dr. Val that I am feeling fine. Okay? Fine.
I mean, what can I infer from the captain's either looking without doing an examination, what physically or Or
Roll me a medicine and an attribute. Maybe reason. It might be something else. Up to you. I'll let you decide.
It's probably reason. It's just pure analytics.
Reason and medicine.
So reason and medicine, that makes 17. It's my sweet spot.
Yeah.
And I have my positronic brain gives me 1 automatic success on reason tasks. And I've rolled a 5 and a 13.
So that's 3 successes.
That is.
Cool. That's another. I'm going to give you 1 for that because you've succeeded on like a higher difficulty version of this. The captain is clearly not fine. They're not like incapable of command, but they are clearly agitated, jumpy, and quite brusque in a way that might be problematic in a crisis situation. But also, humans are emotional, and it's not always easy. Yeah, that's Robot
true.
Person.
I wouldn't be able to infer that. Yeah, I could infer the manifestations, not the causes, probably.
The causes are self-evident. I think the causes are very clearly. This has been more trying than the captain. Stress more than anything else. Yeah.
I shall make a recommendation to the doctor that we prescribe, and I'll provide some suitable sort of stress-assisted medication or something that's probably quite banal. It's probably like something the captain's thought of. Like it's an obvious first step thing that's kind of.
Mm-hmm. Fine. I will happily take whatever the doctor recommends.
Excellent. I shall see to it at once, Captain. Dismissing the irony. Yeah.
Yeah. And you are dismissed. Dismissed.
I will alley you out.
Mm-hmm. You walk through the bridge. The commander looks up at you as you go through. Anything to report, Nurse?
I presume that I would. It would be perfectly reasonable for me to disclose that sort of information to the commander.
Yes, it would.
How much good judgment do I have? I will walk close enough that it's not going to be like I'm not going to broadcast this to the bridge. But I will.
The captain is stressed.
But the commander has asked while I'm on the bridge, rather than asking for.
Yes.
So I'll move closer.
Mm-hmm.
The captain appears to be suffering some fairly routine stresses.
Well, this hasn't been fairly routine, has it? So.
Yeah, this is my baseline for a mission, Commander. I cannot say either way, but I understand from others that yes, it has been exceptional. I'm recommending the doctors prescribe some stress medication to help the captain.
All right. Well, that's good to know. Thank you.
Was there anything else, Commander?
No, thank you. Dismissed.
And I'll proceed to the medical bay and get on that immediately. It seems fairly high priority to me.
Yeah. The doctor's got other things to be dealing with, but you're sort of been given a bit of autonomy over this, so you can prescribe the captain things and send them to their replicator. Like it's all done, all very fine. The ship is approaching Haven. As it approaches Haven, you get a. Hang on, communications.
Oh no!
Yeah. You get a. They're trying to hail you.
Oh, who would that come to?
Anyone on the bridge can open hailing frequencies. Let's say that it's going through Helm at the moment.
Captain, Commander, we're getting a hail from Haven, I think.
Right, put them on screen. You do.
Aye.
Hello. How might we? This is the USS Pegasus. We are returning from a. Hello. This is Haven. And on the screen, a rather panicked-looking humanoid is standing there, Denoblian, if anyone needs. Hello? Is anyone there? Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Hi, my name's Telwyn. Telwyn, I'm one of the advisors on Haven. Is that a starship? I didn't know there was anyone coming in.
Oi, this is the USS Pegasus.
Are you coming back from a long mission or something? We don't have you on record.
Well, it was meant to be a bit of a shorter mission, to be honest. So you might have had us on last year's record, but yeah, we are.
Can you assist us? We've had a shuttle. One of our shuttles was kidnapped, and we need assistance.
Kidnapped by who?
A Romulan warbird came out of nowhere, tracked them, and then flew off with them. We don't know what's going on. The advisor Yeren, who is in charge of Haven, was on that shuttle.
do you have a quarrel with the Romulans?
Well, I mean, not. This is also. This bit of space is quite close to theirs, and we don't really know why they did it, but they just took him and left.
Were they in Romulan space?
No.
Can I roll some sort of lying check?
This is not a game where you can roll a lying check, Emma. There is no insight roll on this. You could use your insight and maybe a sense of one of your disciplines to try and get a better sense of what's going on.
Can I roll, like, insight and command?
Well, yeah, you're literally talking over the commander right now, so yeah, I think that's really this is a relaxed ship in terms of talking over the commander, it's fine.
Can I use my focus of being authoritative?
Yes.
That is a 14.
Mm-hmm.
That is an 11 and a 9, so that is 2 successes.
Cool, I'll give you more information. This person is clearly quite panicked. They don't know what to do about the situation, and also this is irregular. They've done as far as they're aware nothing wrong.
Okay. Could you tell us more about the Romulans, please?
It was just, we don't normally get much Romulan interference out here. We barely see them. But this, yes, a full-scale warbird just decloaked, tracted them in, and then flew off in, back the way you came, basically.
Okay, I was going to ask someone else, but I'm chief of security. Are we equipped to deal with a Romulan warbird?
Who are you asking?
No, I'm asking you. I'm the chief of security.
Oh, I see. It would be quite a challenge to take one on by yourselves. They're a significant size factor bigger than you, but also you don't think you'd probably be getting into a fight with them. It's probably just a misunderstanding.
Latarta Engineering.
Hello, this is engineering.
If we were to engage with a Romulan warbird, do you feel like we have capacity for that at the moment?
Can I check that?
Yeah, the ship's running at full power. It should be fine.
Within our capabilities, Captain, I reckon we could probably take them if it came to it.
I'm not the captain.
You just sounded so authoritative.
The commander looks back at you and raises an eyebrow. So we need to thank you, Haven. We'll be in touch shortly, and cuts the gestures to Todd to cut the feed.
Yeah. Well, what are we gonna do, Commander?
I need to take this to the captain, and we'll see what the captain says. I'll be back shortly. And she gets up and walks to the captain's ready room and goes through the door and steps in, and the door shuts. And the two of you are left on the bridge.
Am I able to feel people's feelings that are in a room that I'm not in?
You can roll me a check to do so, because it is hard. You have to really think about and focus on that area. Can you roll me a daring and insight, please? Yeah. Oh, no, insight. No, sorry. Insight and... I think insight and security, because you're sort of cheekily trying to...
How's your security? How's your security?
Not great.
We can spend 1 momentum for you to use my security.
Oh, can we?
Yeah.
You'd have to talk about it.
Oh, shall we do that?
We can have a kind of like eye-to-eye conversation, because we've been on the ship for 2 years.
Yeah, you know. Maybe this is a trick you often do. Totally fair.
So my security stat is 4.
Okay, great. So that gives me 15.
Cool. You burn momentum, so you have 4 left.
Well, I've got a nat 1 and a nat 20.
So that is 2 successes and a complication, which I've got, no problem. Good. You, from the ready room, you're feeling senses of frustration, anger, worry, annoyance. However, the door opens and the captain and the commander step through, and you very obviously do like an "oh, I'm not here" kind of.
I think Bajorans are quite empathetic as well. I think I do kind of mirror exactly the same thing, especially because you just called me captain. I'm like, oh god.
Right, this is the captain speaking. Right, so I'm guessing you already know how I'm feeling about this.
Well, To be honest, Captain, I've been a bit worried about you, and I was just trying to see how you were feeling, if there was anything I could do, maybe.
Noted, Lieutenant. I'm fine, thank you. So we need to go back? Is that what we're saying?
Go back where?
Well, we need to go back the way we came to find this warbird, don't we? So we're not going home. Fantastic.
I think if someone is in need of rescue, we should probably do that.
The captain sort of looks down a bit frustrated. The commander leans in. I agree, Lieutenant. I think that it is our duty as Starfleet officers to assist those in need, especially Federation citizens. So we are going to turn around and try and find this warbird. The captain has asked that we do not tarry. The ship is not running at peak capacity, as we all know. So I would quite like us to do what we can, but if we can't do anything immediate, to go and seek more assistance.
Understood.
Thank you. The captain sort of grunts and turns around and goes back into the red room and closes the door, clearly quite frustrated by this whole situation. The commander sits down in the chair. Right, if you could start looking for this warbird, please.
Right, you are, Commander.
So, how are you going to try and find this warbird? Warbirds can cloak, so they might be quite hard to find.
So I guess someone with pretty high reason and science maybe should do some searching. We might need to spend some momentum. Luckily, we have a lot of momentum at the moment. We've got 4.
I have a focus of astronavigation, if that helps.
It does, yes. You also have a Soong-style android on board who may have some expertise in this area. I mean, he's a medical officer. He's clearly got medicine, but he's also very good at doing lots of computations very quickly with his positronic brain.
Shall we call in Saw? Get him up here.
Bridge to Saw.
Yes, hello.
Saw, have you had any experience with cloaked ships?
Not directly. Why?
We need to find one.
And you're asking...
Could you come and assist us on the bridge, please?
Yes, I will be there immediately. Sort out. I'll make my way up there directly.
Cool. There is a console up there that you have used before. You do find that the crew will often use you for doing things that your computer brain is very good at, although you don't possibly feel that's really what you should be doing. But you join them
to help. If I probably wouldn't think to offer in many cases, but if I'm asked, I'm like, no, absolutely, yeah, that's there, yeah.
Right. Talk me through how you want to use the ship to try and find this warbird. What are you going to try and do? There's also a shuttle you could look for. Talk me through your various thinking processes and we'll Star Trekify it.
Okay. We could look at, if they're left here, they're going somewhere. I mean, if they're going back to somewhere, we may be able to project possible routes based on that. We may be able to use sensors to bounce signals off other things and try and look for reflections or pings if they're not running, if they're not sort of shut off all the transponders, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we could look for ion trails. Ships, damaged ships tend to leave ion trails, and they did capture a shuttle.
Who did Haven say was on the shuttle? Does that give us a clue about where they might be going?
Advisor Urayan, who is in charge of Haven.
Okay.
We can probably fairly assume they're going back to Romulan space. I don't know if there's something to do with the Borg systems on the ship that might be able to help us as well. That might be better at looking for cloaked ships than typical Federation technology.
Okay. The commander sort of looks at you and goes, well, so if you've got this in hand, I'm happy for you to lead on this.
All right, Commander.
So, you'll want to talk to engineering about if they've got any special Borg tech that will help with this. You need to do a sensor suite for ion trails, try and find the shuttle's ion trail, or maybe the warbird's ion trail, potentially. So, that's 2 tasks where you can maybe contact engineering first and see what engineering can do for you.
I'm just going to talk to everyone about this because my reason is shit.
My reason's okay. No, it's not. I'm lying to you.
Well, Saw's reason is ridiculous, so that might be...
Saw, could you begin the search for potential ion trails, or if you can find any evidence of cloaked ships? Bridge to engineering.
Hello, this is engineering.
Never not funny.
6. Have you any experience searching for cloaked ships? We're wondering if your technology is any better than ours at locating cloaked vessels?
Well, as you know, Lieutenant, I have been working on an experimental device down here for quite some time, which should allow me
actually didn't know that.
Commander does a slight face palm.
Ow.
Is it dangerous?
Well, that's all relative, really, if you think about it, isn't it? In the collective, the individual was expendable so long as the whole was maintained. That was the beauty of our construction.
All right, in the Federation, the individual isn't expendable.
Yes, I have it written on my hand, don't worry. I have been working on a subspace field. You know, the thing that the Borg quite often use to adjust to your weapon fire as it attacks them. It could possibly be used to reverse trace a cloaking device that we have not encountered before, if you have any data on the cloaking device to begin with.
We probably do have some data on Romulan cloaking devices.
Well, that could be put to use. There is a risk that the ship will blow up, of course. There is that as a possibility.
I just freeze mid control panel reach.
I suppose if we can make
a small heart attack.
If we can make it a manageable risk, it might be worth it. Obviously, if it looks like the ship is going to explode, we should probably turn the device off.
Okay. Would you like me to give that a shot, Lieutenant?
Yes. Just keep me apprised of the explodability factor.
Sure thing.
Right. 6, can you make me an engineering?
Yes. So I'm using my experimental device for this, right?
Yes.
So I have advantage. I don't know quite what
you gain, if you use it correctly, you gain an advantage. So daring plus engineering. This is difficulty. There's definitely daring. And you automatically have 1 success because of your arm.
Can I use my advisor talent to roll 1d20 to help, and also then Red gets to re-roll 1d20?
What d20 are you rolling?
That's my... So if I help by using command,
okay,
this is my talent. If I help, if I assist with command, then I can re-roll 1d20.
Cool. Can you assist with the command plus?
I just did.
No, but can you roll?
Yeah.
A command plus.
It's either control. It's daring.
It's daring.
I said to
command
go for
plus
it.
Daring. Roll me 1 dice, and Red roll me 2 dice. So that's daring plus engineering.
Okay. So just to be clear, I'm doing this correctly. I'm adding my daring, which I have 8 points, and my engineering together, so I get 12, and then I have to roll less than that number.
Yes.
Okay.
Equal to or less.
15.
Equal to or less.
Yes, 13. That's 1 success for me.
If Red succeeds.
I got an 8 and a 13, so 1 success.
You can re-roll the 13.
Okay. I got a 9, so 2 successes.
Yes.
So that is 3 successes total, plus 1 because of your arm makes it 4 successes.
Boom.
Okay, we'll start there. That's really good. Now, George, Saw was going to roll a sensor sweep using your super special positronic brain.
Absolutely, love that positronic brain. I'm probably trying to build like a model that the others can feed information into, so that we build a projection scan that we can then fill in more data, try and winnow it down.
Can you roll me a reason and sciences task assisted by the ship's sensors and sciences?
Reason and sciences makes 15.
Great.
That's cocked. That is 11 and a 16. So 1 success, 1 failure, and 1 success additionally from my brain.
Okay, so it's 2 successes. Can you also roll me 1 with the ship, which is a sciences, which it has a... sensors plus sciences, 10 plus 2, 12 or under.
I rolled an 11.
Excellent. So that is 3 successes.
3 successes, yes.
Between the Borg technology allows you to sensor sweep in a slightly different way than you're used to. Instead of just sweeping out with sensor looking for anything, the Borg technology literally allows you to look for shield shadows, ion trails in a much greater resolution. And you're again impressed by how awesome this Borg technology is. Although, please note, whenever using the Borg technology, if you roll low, there are more complications. And the complications are bad. Let's be warned. With that sensor sweep done and with all of the extra work done, you can not only track the shuttle's ion trail, you can track the Warbird's ion trail. Ahead of you, roughly a couple of light years, not far, there is a nebula. I can tell you what kind of nebula in a second because it's all sciencey shit and I'm not a scientist. Where are the nebulas?
In the meantime, Lieutenant Todd, can you follow that trail?
Aye. That I can.
Cool. Can you roll me... Actually, no, this is easy enough. Just flying the ship. Yeah, you can definitely get there. You don't need to roll anything on that. That's relatively easy to get to. And while you're flying towards Nebula, I will find out what kind of nebula it is. No, that's planets.
One of those extra safe nebulas, right?
Yeah.
Nothing can go wrong.
It's opened a chapter called Space Weather.
Space weather.
Got this nebula marked on the charts. It's the Foreboding Nebula.
Right. Nebula. This nebula doesn't have a type. It's a strange nebula as you approach it. It's got very purpley black clouds, and it's clearly going to be very difficult to see through, and the sensors are struggling to scan inside it. Even with the Borg enhancements, you can tell that the ship flew out of the nebula and flew back into it, but beyond that, you know very, very little about it.
Eesh.
But this nebula is in front of you.
Commander?
Should I keep going, Commander?
No, halt here, please. So, can someone explain to me what's going on?
Well, they definitely went into this nebula, and that's all we know at the moment. We could do some sampling, I guess.
Did they come out of this nebula too?
Initially.
Yes. Which suggests they have some kind of base here or dwelling here, and they sought for an express purpose.
Right. I'm going to have to bring in the captain on this. Everyone please wait here. And she goes into the captain's quarters again. Door closes.
I'm not trying that again. Fat lot of good it did us last time.
The commander walks out with the captain. Commander sort of looks quite frustrated, and the captain looks quite sort of like forthright. Right, I understand the ship flew in and out of a nebula.
Yes, it's on screen at the moment.
And we don't know what's inside there.
We haven't run any sampling tests or sent in a shuttle.
What kind of a sampling test could we do?
We could send a probe, or do some more sensor sweeps potentially.
All right, launch a probe. The captain sits down in the captain's chair, again, arms crossed, looking a bit grumpy.
When was the last time we saw them in them in the captain's chair?
Roughly a couple of weeks. It's been a while. Been a while. They sit down in the captain's chair. Go ahead, launch a probe.
Who does that? Would
You
that
do.
be? What, me?
Actually, I know. The helm would launch a probe.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Aye, Captain. What can I tell about what's coming back from the probe?
The probe makes sensor sweeping easier, so you now have a probe launched out into the nebula. The nebula is very difficult to see through. If anything, the nebula is very, very hard to... Even a sensor sweep, the sensor sweep bouncing off the probe wouldn't cause you to be able to search inside the nebula easily. It is the perfect hiding ground.
I mean, I suppose we could also bounce our comms off the probe, try and communicate with the Romulans, see if they respond to our...
That seems wise. Lieutenant, open a channel.
Aye, Captain.
This is to the Romulan warbird who has stolen one of our shuttles. Please respond. If you're there, please respond. Hello? Now, because your sensor sweep was so good earlier, and because the sensors are very good at picking up cloaked ships, Sol, you get on your sensor reading, there is a cloaked ship. It's currently flying out of the side of the nebula and arcing towards you, trying to remain hidden.
Oh. Captain, I suggest that we put power in the
Raise shields. Raise shields. Shields are not up right now. If you have shields up, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
You want to raise shields?
I suggest we do.
Raising shields implies that we're worried. Are you worried? What's wrong?
The warbird is currently flying towards us from the nebula.
Warbird, this is the captain of the USS Pegasus. Please respond to our hail. We know you're out there. Nothing.
Captain, should I gently set a course in the other direction?
The captain looks a bit like they don't know what to do and is a bit frustrated by this whole situation and isn't giving any orders.
Salt to engineering?
This is engineering.
Engineering. We know the location of the Romulan Warbird. Is there any chance we could get a teleport lock on the humanoid? Is there only one humanoid you're looking for? I've got several readings I can get there. We're trying to get the governor of Haven back, as opposed to any Romulans.
Well, I try, but there's quite a lot of power being used already in our sweeping for the Warbird. I mean, I just want to make you aware that there are risks involved with this magical technology. But I'll happily give it a go. Give me a second. So can I check to see if I can get a phaser lock on...
you don't want a phaser lock. That's very different.
Teleporter lock?
It would be you'd have to beam someone off a ship. Beaming off a cloaked ship would mean having to find the cloaked ship. You can see that it's there, but not in any particular detail or accuracy. It is still cloaked.
Okay.
As it flies closer and as you reach out to start trying to do that, it uncloaks as it's now flying towards, and its shields are now up, so you can't sense anything. It is definitely flying into attack.
I suggest we raise shields immediately.
Have you told the captain it's flying into attack?
It's on screen.
Yeah, you need to tell the captain these things.
It's on screen.
Okay. Yes, raise shields. Fine, raise shields. Shields are raised. Warbird, there's no need to attack. We just want our governor back, at which point the Warbird is going to zoom straight towards you and start firing.
I don't know what I expected.
Right. So I'm looking through the rules while I do this. The Warbird is going to control the security. The Warbird fires twice. Its phasers impact the shields. They don't do any significant damage. It is flying straight and just firing, trying to damage the ship and certainly trying to scare you off, it seems. That is the end of the Warbird's turn. What would you like to do? You all have access to systems on board the ship. You can do things in any order that you want to. For example, Syl, you're at the weapon station, you can fire back. Saw, you're at the sensor station, you could try and sweep the area, find out more information. Todd, you can fly the ship, so you can move it in any way that you want to. And engineering...
Can I suggest that we start by flying the ship so that it's pursuing us?
You can try and fly away from it so it's in pursuit, or you could take what's called evasive actions, which means you're doing sort of clever bobbing and weaving out of the way of phaser shots to try and avoid getting shot at.
I would like to do that, please.
Okay.
So, can you try and see if there's anything, any way that being in the nebula would make it harder for them to shoot at us?
Yes, I will do that immediately.
Lovely, so that's your task. Are you going to fire back?
I'm going to fire back, but what I'm trying to do is reduce power to their shield so that we can try and beam the person out.
Okay, no problem. And engineering, at this point, there's not a lot for you to have to deal with because the ship's just flying around. Doing all of these things will cost power, just to make you all aware. So you can always roll a power management task to try and make sure it costs less power to do all the things that you've done. So in order, let's start with the evasive action. So Todd, please roll me a control plus con check, assisted by the ship's structure plus con.
Control plus con.
Yes, please.
Oh, my control's not very good. Damn it. Yeah, that's only an 11. Is it really control and not daring?
Evasive actions is control. Attack actions is daring.
Oh, fair.
You could
it's
also,
12. I'm adding wrong anyway.
You could also roll an attack pattern if you wanted to just dive straight in and bomb the shit out of it. That's also your call. The captain's going, action stations, defend ourselves. So, do whatever you need.
Is it possible to help with this task if I'm doing a separate task already?
No, you're doing a separate task.
Fine.
It's fine. It's a 12. Does it help that I've got a focus in maneuvers?
A focus in maneuvers means that it means that your successes, if you roll under your discipline, count as 2.
Sure. So control and con.
Yes, please.
1 success, 1 failure.
Grand. Can you also roll 1 for the ship's structure plus con, which is a 14 or under?
2 successes.
2 successes. Excellent. You succeed and you gain momentum. The ship is moving quite quickly and you manage to duke out of the way as various phases are fired, moving the ship into a more evasive position. You're going to fire back and you're trying to lower the shields?
I put the ship on red alert first.
Great.
How do I fire back?
You fire back. Rules. You fire back by rolling a control plus security task to spy the ship's weapons plus security.
Am I rolling with my control and security?
Your control and security first, please.
That's a 14. Oh, shit. Those are both failures. Does anyone mind if I spend some momentum?
Do it. We've got 5.
Please
right?
spend momentum.
You've got loads, yeah.
Yeah. How many successes do I need?
What are you using? You're using the ship's phasers?
Well, yeah, I'm not using my own, am I?
Torpedoes. Ship phasers or torpedoes?
What would
Phasers are
knock
good
down
on
these
shields. Torpedoes are good at blowing ships up.
Yeah, phasers.
Cool. You need 2 successes to hit.
And
you also get to use the ships, so you may still get 1 from the
I'm
ship.
using shipboard tactical systems. I'm gonna spend 1 first.
Cool. You buy a 3rd dice.
That is a success.
And you also get to roll 1 with the ship's weapons plus security, which is that is a 30.
That's another failure. I'm going to buy another one. So that's
Do it.
2.
2 momentum. Jeez. Sorry, everyone. That's a lot of failures.
Mm-hmm.
That's another failure.
Wow.
There's only 2 left. You could also buy with threat if you wanted to.
1 threat?
1
Yeah,
threat.
go on.
This is the last one you can buy. Actually, it's 3 threat now because it's the 3rd dice.
Oh.
Do you want to buy 3 threat?
We've not got that much threat. How do people feel about this? Should we just give up?
I think you should go with it.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know what sunk costs are.
Excellent. Thank you very much. 3 threat. Extra. We have now got 11 threat.
That is a success.
2 successes.
Yeah.
Cool. The ship's phasers have a damage dice of 8, so roll me 8 damage dice, please.
Ooh. That's all of our... No, what's that?
Yeah, it's all of our damage dice. Go for it.
It's a lot of D6s.
It is.
Okay. Right, that's a lot of effects.
Mm-hmm. Count an effect as 2. For a phaser, it counts as 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
13.
3 effects. And because I've spent momentum and succeeded, I get 2 momentum back.
Excellent. You're being a rank engineer, a rank raw recruit. What is it called?
Untapped potential.
Untapped potential.
That was 3 effects.
Yeah, I just counted them as damage because that's how the phasers work.
Oh, okay.
So you have shot it significantly. It blasts through their shields, and
I'm trying to reduce power to the shield more than to damage the ship because I don't want to hurt the prisoner.
Cool. You have damaged their shield significantly, and that you shot through the shields. The shields are still just up, but you have shot through the shields, and you have caused a breach. There is a spark of damage from inside on board the ship as you quite resoundingly blast through the shields, and you've damaged the Warbird slightly. It has 1 breach in. Yep. Okay. Right. Phasers fired. You were going to check about using the nebula as a place to hide, George?
Yeah, right? My ideal thing is sort of figure out what I can by bouncing sensors off and then pass that information directly to the helm to help us feed that into the sort of directional control.
Excellent. No problem at all.
So I'm doing the whole like fast hands on all the buttons and keyboards kind of thing. So it's like preternaturally precise.
Great. Can you please roll me a Reason and Sciences assisted by the ship's sensors and sciences?
Reason and Sciences, I have 12 and 3, so 15, and I'll make my red dice the ship dice.
The ship's is a 3rd dice, it rolls differently. Just roll yours for now.
Okay, sure, I'll do another one. Okay. Well, we have a 13, which is a success, an additional success from my positronic brain, and a 20.
Oh dear.
Complication.
I'm just going to add more to the threat pile with complications.
Okay.
I can do that.
Yep.
So I'm going to start using all this threat in a sec. That's good.
Is it though? Is it good?
No. It's
No.
feel like it's right there in the name.
Also roll me Sensors and Sciences with the ships, which is quite good. It's Sensors and Sciences together make a 12.
That's a 2 on the dice.
Okay, so that is 2 successes. The nebula would
3
provide
total,
3 total. Thank you. The nebula would provide some cover. You'd be able to get out of there relatively quickly, but you don't know what's inside. You still can't scan inside it. It is too heavy for that, but it would be a very good place to provide cover, and you can give Helm a very quick route to get there in just 1 turn for effect.
Cool. Can I give that heading, and also I think that's the ideal thing would be in a position to be able to sort of skim into it, because we also don't want to lose sight of the warbird if we're I presume it would be difficult to see out of the nebula on the same terms. So I want to get as close enough that we can use it at will, but not blind ourselves either.
Great. Engineering. The ship is suddenly firing and flying around like mad. You can roll a power management to try and see its daring or control plus engineering.
Can I try and get a teleporter lock on the dude now? The shields are down.
No, the shields aren't down. They've still got a small amount of shields up because their shields are 14 and you only did 13 damage.
Oh, damn it.
Oh,
So close.
So sorry, what were you saying, Chris dear?
Can you please roll me a excuse me? Can you please roll me a daring or control up to you plus engineering, because that costs 2 power to fire and to move, and the ship only has a limited amount of power, and you're trying to maintain that up.
Okay, so I'm rolling on a 15, and I get an 11 and an 18, so I get 1.
1 success.
We've got momentum if you want to buy more. We've got 5 momentum at the moment.
Oh, sorry, is this an engineering? Can I use my arm to get?
You can, so it's 2. Yes, the ship only uses 1 power, not 2. So you're managing to manage the power on the ship effectively. There's sort of sparks flying all around you as you very quickly make sure that everything is working to success. Right. The warbird is going to.
No.
Run!
The warbird is going to recharge its shield somewhat, which it does, and then I'm burning quite a lot of threats, as it is very worried about how effective you have been against it already.
Crack shot.
Yeah.
There's 12 threat there at the moment.
Right.
I'm burning
I feel
5 of them. It is going to fire a full spread of torpedoes at the ship.
Jesus.
They're not kidding around.
They are not kidding around. They are very annoyed. Torpedoes come racing out towards the ship. They're suddenly firing wildly, just as many torpedoes as they can, coming straight out towards all of you. Okay.
Does our evasive maneuvers affect that? Because we took evasive thingies, right?
Evasive maneuvers means that you were harder to hit, but I still hit you.
Fair.
I got to roll more dice because of threat usage.
All the threat.
Yeah, so I roll these 6 twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You have shields of 12. Perfect. As you are firing, but it's suddenly just torpedoes come flying out towards you and explode all around you. The shields are down. This is bad news. The ship suffers 2 breaches. Oof. I need to do 6. Right. A computer and a random ensign explode on the bridge, and they go flying across and are very clearly very badly hurt. The communications array has taken a heavy hit, so communicating will be more difficult now. You also get an explosion in the back of the ship as engineering is also suffering massively. There's explosions all around you. It has done a lot of damage, and the shields are not looking very healthy. It has also regained some of its shields by using, again, so it is bearing down on you. It is winning this fight at the moment, and your shields are currently down, which is bad. What would you all like to do in this scenario? You do have a course plot in to get you inside the nebula if you want to, Helm. George, you are on an internal systems check, so you could potentially try and regenerate shields. So you could try and fire back if you wanted to. And you can also, engineering could also try and assist with doing shields or try and make sure the power management is still high to make sure that the ship doesn't completely go over.
Could I, if Saw and Six both did shields, could I manage the power?
Yeah,
go for it.
Yeah, of course you could. Yeah. Okay, so Helm, do you want to try and get everyone out of here first? Fly into the nebula?
So, yes, well, I had two suggestions. I could fly into the nebula, or I could pull an aerial.
That legendary maneuver.
At this point, your shields are very, very low. Even if you did manage to pull an aerial, you'd still be near it. You'd be behind it. They'd have to do some maneuvering to get out of the way. But they haven't tried to evade you at all. They're not worried about that.
Sure. So into the nebula it is, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I'll do that.
Okay. You skip the ship around and very quickly start turning as the torpedo dam is still sparking on the hull and are flying towards the nebula, and you'll get there as the course plotting suggested to get inside it briefly but not get stuck in there. That's totally fine. You're going to roll. Who was rolling? You were doing power management.
I'm going to manage the power.
Right, that comes afterwards. Can the two of you who
Before
are doing...
I lock that in, can I, at a glance, determine the condition of the injured ensign who was hit?
He is.
I don't need to know exactly, but are they like? Are they going to die without immediate aid? Or
no?
Okay, fine. So
it's a Star Trek exploding.
Good. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So yes, do you want to both work together towards regenerating the shields?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just want to remind ourselves that I have improved the ship in many ways by being here, and there is an advanced subspace field which is adaptable to weapons fire.
It is.
I wonder if that's useful.
Yes, it will be. We'll try and regenerate the shields first, and then we'll do a special roll on that for you as well. Cool.
Right, yeah. What are we rolling?
Can you both please roll me? One of you needs to helm this.
Please. Go
What
ahead.
sort of check is it? Is it an engineering check?
It's an engineering check, yeah.
Then
I'll do it.
six should just helmet.
Okay, can you roll me a control plus engineering? You're in charge of this. And there'll be...
That's 2 fails, one of them being a 20.
Oh.
This seems like a good use of momentum.
Significant amount of momentum.
We do. We have
Okay.
5 momentum at the moment.
Okay, so if I take 2, I can re-roll both? Is that correct?
No, you have to take 3. First dice costs 1, second dice costs 2, third dice costs 3.
Okay, I guess I'll do that if
Do
everyone's
it.
okay.
Yeah,
with
do
that.
it. Because it was worthless if I get successes if you haven't
Yes,
got
it is.
Okay, and that's now 2 successes.
Hey!
2 successes. The 20 does not count because you re-rolled. Pretty sure that's right. Anyway, you have 2 successes. Can you also roll 1 for structure plus engineering for the ship, which is it's a 12.
Well,
Shall I roll for the first check as well?
Yes, please.
Okay, but it is incumbent to remind you that I am a doctor, not an engineer, damn it. Which means that I get to use my medicine score. I'll do control plus medicine instead of control plus engineering.
Totally fine. Yes, no problem.
It's a 17.
that was brilliant.
Okay.
It's a 16. Oh, 17. Cool, great. Just a success. Just.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 3 successes. And did the ship succeed as well?
Yes, it got a 6.
Okay, so that's 4
Five.
successes.
5, isn't it?
No,
3 from
4.
Did you get 3?
3 from me
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And 4.
and the ship.
Yeah, so 4. So that means...
And me?
3 from Red,
Didn't
1
you have
from the
2?
ship.
No, 2 from Red, 1 from the
2
ship.
from red, 1 from ship.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was 2 because of the arm. Isn't the arm?
Oh, the
coming
arm,
to
so
play
it's
here?
5. Cool, so your shields
Maybe I'm
regenerate
wrong.
back... Yeah, it's fine. Your shields regenerate back 10. So
Awesome.
you are repowering the shields very, very carefully. Red, can you also
Robot
roll
synergy.
me for the advanced subspace field? Roll me one of the effect dice, so a d6.
D6.
Yes, please.
I get a 3, 0, nothing.
You try and let the adaptive shielding. You try and make the adaptive shielding make the ship immune to certain kinds of torpedo fire, but are currently not able to make it do that. These Robin torpedoes are not some you have encountered before.
You spent momentum, so you get to roll 1 as well to see if you regain some momentum.
True.
Okay. I get a 6.
That is an effect, so you gain more momentum, and I get a threat. Thank you.
Oh.
And you wanted to do power management to try and make sure
I
this
will
wasn't
manage the
burning,
power.
because we've got 1, 2, 3, -1, +1. Yeah, the power on the ship. The ship is starting to run out of power. You are burning a lot of power to do all these things.
Does Red not have a talent for power thingies?
I've got more power, but I need to succeed on an engineering check first and then spend momentum to do it.
You did.
What?
And spend momentum to do it.
He did. That was an engineering check, and he spent momentum.
No, it's a specific role, isn't it?
Well, I think it means spend the momentum in order to gain the power. Like, so I can't spend the momentum.
Is it
somewhere
after
else.
completing a regular check, or is it a separate check?
Succeed on an engineering check and then spend momentum to gain power. Is what? If that's from my notes. I mean, that's not the whole thing. But,
No, that is, you have to do it as part of a power management check. So
Okay.
we can't do this round. You can still do power management.
Okay,
It's
I
generally
will.
fine.
What do I need to roll?
You need to roll me daring or control plus engineering.
Well, I will roll daring plus engineering, which is still terrible, but never mind. It's 13.
Mm-hmm.
That's one success.
One success. It is not enough. You need 2 successes.
How much momentum do we have?
We've got
3.
3.
I won.
Yeah.
I'll try one.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because you can.
No.
Oh, okay.
You try and move power around various parts of the ship to try and get the ship running up, but the ship is now only at 6 power and it's nearly halfway used up. It's got 10 power total. It's nearly halfway used up all its power, so you are burning through reserves really quickly to do all of these quick maneuvers. But the ship has now flown into the nebula. Right.
How is the captain responding to all of this?
The captain looks a little shell-shocked and not quite sure what to do. He's just sitting there letting you all get on with things, not giving orders, just letting you all get on with it. The commander's also sat next to them, and the commander is looking at the captain concernedly.
Interesting.
Right, you fly into...
Sorry, how much shield does the ship have? It's
Ship
now
has
got 10, but out of what?
12 total.
Okay.
Okay.
We've done good.
All right.
We've done good.
It's pretty healthy. Pretty healthy.
As you fly into the nebula, the ship, so it's currently like you can't see anything. It is completely dark and messy in here, and it's very hard to target anything. The warbird is going to try and fire torpedoes at you.
You need to say that you're doing that because they can't see you.
I've burnt 3 momentum.
Threat.
Sorry, I burnt 3 threat. The warbird is going to try and fire through the nebula to try and hit you. It's going to basically depth charge the nebula to try and find you.
That is a 20. I can see that.
I've got a 20.
Yay!
There are you can't see outside, so you hear explosions. The ship rocks. There are still hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There is another resounding boom all around you, but the shields hold. You're down to 2 shields. And the warbird is not flying. If you don't know if it's in after, you have no idea where it is, but you're just getting sort of torpedo explosions all around you, but you are not hit fully. The shields are still holding at 2. You don't know where the warbird's gone or what it's done apart from that. What would you like to do? You're currently still in the shield, though you have got a course to get you out of the shield.
How common is it to fly through a nebula?
Relatively. It's not normally a bad thing to do, and you currently have a way to get out, which is a good thing. But also, if you get out, you have no idea where the warbird is.
Sure.
The captain looks around and goes, well, are we flying out? Are we flying in? What are we doing?
We need to find out where the warbird is, and we still need to get that prisoner off.
I'm going to look between... sorry, I completely blanked for a second there. I'm going to look between Latara and the captain just as this exchange is happening, just not showing any facial puzzlement, just like back, forth, and then go back to what I'm doing.
Could 6 do a power thing now?
Yeah, totally. I can give you some power if you want. Yeah, I was just like, can we do what they just did? Can we just like drop a load of things into the surrounding area and see if
you
we
could? You could fly. They've had a chance to do quite a lot of moving around, and you can try certainly, but it would be very hard to try and hit.
If I can try and scan the area for the ship, I can maybe get a lock on their signal.
Yes,
5 phases.
Yeah,
scanning now.
You can do a power check before you do anything to see if the ship gains enough power.
So let me do some power.
Yeah.
So what do I roll for that?
Daring or control plus engineering.
Okay, so that's 15. That's a 3 and a 16, but if I add my arm to that, does that still count as 2?
That still counts as 2, yes. You can regain 1 power, or now you can use your...
Do you have a focus that might apply? Because 3 sounds like it might be below your engineering.
Yes, it is below my engineering. Do I have a focus that apply? A lot of notes! Well, if we were trying to get away, I am an expert in warp technology, which you all know.
This is not that.
I mean,
or
it's
if
powering the ship.
That's not what that is.
No.
or if anybody has a sense that this might be related to a weird psychic resonator overall, that could be useful. But otherwise, not hugely, I'm afraid. But I'm quite talented in the area of generating power in a pinch, which I think I can use at this point to try and get us some more power.
You currently have 2 momentum. You could burn both of them to gain back 3 in total.
So do we end up with more power doing it that way? Is that
If
good?
you do that, the ship will have 9 out of 10 power. Yes.
Would you like me to do that, crew?
I think so. Chris doesn't have a lot of threat at the moment, so we can always buy threat, use threat to buy dice if we need to.
So I'll do that, Chris, and let's get as much power as possible then.
You do. The ship is back up to 9 power. You reroute things around, and you take power out of auxiliary life support, another Star Trek technobabble, and in doing so, you manage to get the ship back up to a sense of being quite powered, and therefore you all have lots of power to do anything you want to do on the turn.
Sure.
Fun, guys.
Cool.
Does one of you want to do a scan, and then if you get a lock on something, I can potentially fire
You could fly
at it?
towards it and fire at it, yeah.
What is a scan? Is it insight and security?
You can do a sensor sweep. Sorry,
I think it would be reason and science.
It's reason and science is assisted by the ship's sensors and science.
Okay.
This is quite difficult because of the nebula and because of everything else going on with the firefight.
Yeah, I don't have particularly great reason scores, so I'm going to suggest.
I'm happy to do it. That's
great. Go ahead.
That's why I'm here. Reason and science is a 15, and you get 1 auto success. And I've rolled a 10 and a 1. How about that?
Oh, excellent!
Yeah.
That's 3 successes, and you also
successes.
4 because he gets 1 auto success.
4, and you get to roll with the ship's sensors and sciences as well.
Rolling now,
which is a 10 to 12.
I rolled a 12.
Lovely. So that is 5 successes. I'll give you back 1 momentum and keep it so as a 4 strength task. The Warbird is cloaked again. Because of you being able to see it earlier, you can see that it is heading straight back into the nebula and has now flown past you and is heading further in. Because of your probe...
If it's cloaked, it doesn't have shields up, right?
If it's cloaked, it has no shields up. It is flying. It is already moving quite fast. It is flying into the nebula past you. It is cloaked. You can't get a solid lock on it because it's still cloaked. It's hard to see. You know sort of the direction it's in because of the sensor sweep and because of the probe. But it is currently flying into nebula and flying away from you.
Okay, so I say, but they're trying to get away from us rather than they've just missed us.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. The Warbird is attempting to escape.
Do we torpedo?
Well, if you can follow Lieutenant Todd, I can try and get a teleport lock.
I can follow.
It has regenerated its... no, it's currently cloaked.
It can't have shields and be cloaked.
Yeah, it is regenerating its shields, but it's doing that without them on. Yeah, good point.
I am in pursuit.
Can I try and get a teleport lock?
A transporter lock.
Either of those things.
It's called a transport.
All right, Pernickety.
Do you have a special security thing about transporter locks?
Nope. I have a special... I have guerrilla warfare.
No, as in your security oversight and tactical reference. Do you have a special thing about transporter locks? No, you don't, do you?
Tractor beam.
Tractor beam. Nope. Transporters.
Modulate shield fire weapon. Nope. Nothing about
Okay, as you zoom up behind, trying to do this, can you roll me a control plus engineering?
Why is it always engineering?
It's the ship.
We're integral.
Can it be daring plus engineering, please? This feels daring.
I think if it's daring and it goes wrong...
Oh, God. All right. Control it is. It's 12. Oh, that's 2 successes.
2 successes.
Can this be... Can I... focus doesn't matter.
You are assisted by the sensors and engineering. So you have to roll the ship's... to 12 as well.
Yeah, that one.
It's a failure. 2 is not enough.
How
it is a
many more do I
difficult
need?
Task 2.
Right, well, can I use this momentum to buy 1?
That's not nowhere near enough.
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay.
I'm going to start with the momentum. Is that okay? Is everyone all right with that?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, no.
Does me being in pursuit count as my turn, so I can't assist in any way?
Yeah, we're going to roll to see how close you can get alongside the transporters. This is all a combined thing in a second.
Well,
because you have some special things about getting very close to ships.
That's another success.
Okay, so you have 3 at the moment.
Can I add some more threat to buy 1 more?
Do it.
yeah. Go.
Shoot the shot.
Damn it, that's a failure. Can I add 3 more threats?
How much threat are we at? I feel like
We've got 7 threat at the moment.
And it was 12 threat that nearly destroyed our ship already.
That was 5 of 5 of the 12.
That was 5.
That's correct.
Right. You are reckless, head of security.
One more. Can I?
Go for it.
Go on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Here we go. That's a success. Hey!
Yeah.
Excellent. You start calibrating and you think you can sneak up behind. It's very hard to see anything, so the sensors are the only thing keeping you any chance of being able
I
to
should
find
have
this
used
ship.
my point of determination.
You should have done, yeah.
Never mind.
But you start moving up towards, you're trying to organize all of the transporters, and you go, do you tell people you can do this?
Yeah, I'm like, mostly because I'm on the content engineering going, which wire?
You see the strap you won? Not that one.
You are realizing that you can probably do this, but it will be extremely. Do you tell Captain?
Yeah, I think I've got it. I think I can get them.
Do we need the commander turns around? I think we need to be a bit closer. Todd, can you get us delicately closer without really raising their awareness that we're nearby?
Oh, absolutely, Captain.
So this is a definite maneuver. So you're doing something very clever and maneuverable with the ship.
So I have a focus on that. So what is that? That's
I think
con.
it's a daring plus con.
Perfect. 14. 2 successes.
Yeah.
One of them is equal to my con. Does that mean I get an extra one?
Yes, that
a
counts
momentum.
as 3. That's 3 successes because you needed quite a few to do this. It's very delicate.
Sure.
You're just very delicately getting as close as you can behind them to get within transporter range, and you're getting very close. And
I think I've got a lock. I think I've got it.
Cool.
I've got him.
Do you transport?
Yeah.
Okay. You engage the transporters, and Advisor Urayan transports into the bridge. That also means your shields are down.
Yeah, that does mean our shields are down.
Are you sure you want to do this? I am just checking.
Captain, our shields will be down while I transport.
Well, don't do that. That seems like a terrible idea.
Well, but once they're here, we can leave.
I don't know. This feels very risky. It's extremely risky. I'm not sure if I'm... No, I don't think we should do that. I think we should just pursue them. Just pursue them, find out where they're going.
If we continue pursuing them, they'll have more chances to torpedo us.
Do they know we're here?
I don't see why they wouldn't know we're here.
I'm not sure we can afford to take the risk. This is we're supposed to be going home. This is too much. No, I think we should turn around or pursue them and see where they go. I don't think we should lower the shields.
Commander?
The captain gave you an order, Lieutenant.
Commander, I really think in this situation we should, if we continue to pursue them, that gives them more opportunity to fire torpedoes at us. They nearly already destroyed us once.
But if we lower the shields, then they might destroy us in one fell swoop. We can't afford that.
Once we transport the person over here, we can leave.
It's too risky. I don't want to risk it.
I'm going to drop the shields and transport the person over here.
Plot twist.
You drop the shields, and there is a beaming symbol as the advisor immediately teleports into the what's going on? Where am I?
Get us out of here.
Right, the warbird is going to fire on you, and your shields are down.
Yeah,
no kidding.
Run!
We've given you threat as well.
You have.
Mm.
You didn't roll that one.
No, that one. It's a 14.
Okay.
Which is still a success.
Eesh.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Massive explosions all round you as the Warbird fires multiple torpedoes into you. Engineering, the warp core sparks. There's explosions all round you. You personally, 6, take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of damage. You suffer a wound from that. You are wounded and knocked back, very badly hurt. The bridge rocks and shakes. The helm, you're finding that the ship is moving sluggishly. You're now struggling to turn the ship with any kind of speed or maneuverability. That one hasn't been hit yet. The sensors are also becoming harder to read. The ship is currently floundering significantly as you all stop dead. The captain shouting, "What's going on? What are we doing?"
We got hit, Captain.
But, Saul, what's going on? I told you to turn around. I told you to not lower the shields.
They're back up now.
Okay, you raise the shields, as they are. The bridge around you is quiet. The commander turns to you. "Lieutenant, the captain ordered you to leave the shields up."
The captain was wrong.
"Thank you so much for getting me out of there. I don't know what's going on, but they I appear to have walked into an awkward situation. Not sure what to do. Saw, can you please make me a sensors check? The difficulty is now harder because of the damage to the ship.
Yep.
So we're looking for
Reason and science again. Yeah.
Yes, reason and science, please, along with the ship sensors and science. But the difficulty's gone up.
15 for me. I rolled a 5. I don't have any relevant specials. No, it's not under my display. A 5 and a 19.
Okay, so that's 1 success.
And a 4 for the ship.
That's 2 successes, and with your positronic brain, that's 3. That's not enough yet, and there's no momentum on the board.
Can I help?
You're currently injured and knocked back from your console, so yeah, with a lot of difficulty.
I mean, I can try.
Okay.
Sorry, what was this check for? To locate the warbird relative to us?
Just to do a sensor sweep of the area.
Okay, to understand the situation. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just drag myself across the floor of engineering and just get my arm up and it's roll whatever is at my disposal. Really, what would be most useful?
Engineering plus reason, I'm going to say.
Okay, it's 10 plus 4, 14. It's an 8 and a 15.
You only get to roll 1 dice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're only helping.
I'll roll 1 again then, I guess.
Okay.
It's a 9.
Okay.
So is it 4 overall?
4 overall. That is not enough at the moment to be able to see through the nebula because it's very dark, as previously described. Go on.
Can I feel/scan/do anything?
You were flying the ship. What I will allow here is a con plus reason for what's about to happen. Give me a con plus reason to add to this.
Sure. No, hard no.
Hard no. Okay.
Hard failure.
There we go.
No.
As you sensor sweep around, you can't find the warbird, but also the technology that you use has been damaged, and you're not sure if you'd be able to find a cloaked warbird anymore. You also don't know which way to go to get out of the nebula. With that situation, with all of you stood there in this situation, not quite sure what to do, and the captain seething, that's where we're going to take our first break.
Right.
Well done, everyone. Thank you.
Solid.
And that's where we're going to pick up after the break. Thank you very much, everyone, and we will see you in 5-10 minutes.
Cool.
Marvelous.
Didn't we do well?
And we're back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Star Trek Renegade. Couldn't be more aptly named. Right.
Don't know why you're all looking at me.
It's your trouble.
So to get us back into where we were, your ship, the Pegasus, trailed a Romulan warbird into a dark nebula. And in said dark nebula, you managed to transport your the advisor who is in charge of a nearby Federation colony back on board your ship, but in doing so got the ship very heavily damaged, stuck in this nebula with no way of knowing where to go. The bridge is currently very quiet. The captain looks murderously angry. The commander looks worried. Everyone else is, from what George is doing, Saw looks impassive.
Shocker.
Tara looks determinedly also slightly worried.
Okay.
Can I tell just how angry the captain is? Like, is Latara in any danger from this anger?
The captain is, and this is something you would get from your empathic abilities as a Betazoid, the captain is furious, but the captain is also, it's not just anger, it's also stress and exhaustion and frustration. Captain's not really in an excellent state of mind.
So it's not red hot anger at...
No, it's not so much red hot anger, it's more of a, this is exactly what I didn't want to happen.
Sure.
This is the one thing, right?
In this situation,
yes.
Would it be impolitic to turn to the advisor and ask a question?
No, you can do whatever you like.
I know, but would it be a really...
It would be impolitic,
would it be a
right?
really bad idea?
Well, the captain has sort of... Let the captain lead in, then you can decide what you do.
Okay, fine.
Lieutenant, would you mind explaining why you countermanded a direct order and have left us in this not fantastic situation?
Absolutely. In my experience of Romulans, they wouldn't kidnap someone without having a very good reason of doing so.
And that's why you lowered shields and transported the advisor here onto the bridge.
I'd like to find out what the advisor knows that the Romulans would like to know, yes. I'd also like a chance to get us out of here before the Romulans can attack again, sir.
This is precisely what I was talking about. Commander, will you please remove the lieutenant from the security station? The commander looks a little sheepish. She looks at you, looks back at the captain. Does anyone say anything or do anything?
Captain, if I might, Lenarta has done a lot of good work in that skirmish just now, and I would feel more comfortable piloting the ship in this nebula if she were still on the bridge.
I concur. It would seem we're more in need of her skills than ever.
Appreciated, both of you, but she countermanded a direct order, and the commander sort of lays a hand on the captain's shoulder. Captain, you've had a very stressful few years in this ship, and maybe the crew were operating in the ship's best interests. I don't care if it was the ship's best interests. They weren't my orders, and my order... I'm in charge, damn it!
Captain, you haven't been on the bridge for 2 weeks.
Can I augment that by listing the exact number of days that it has been since the last time? Like, not point scoring, but like actually setting the records very specifically straight.
Go on. Yes, that is correct.
17 days to be precise.
Fine. Fine, it appears I'm not needed. I'll be in my ready room, I guess, if you need me. And the captain storms out into their ready room and the door closes.
Oh.
Right. The commander looks at you very pointedly, Sol, and just... How about we why don't we all take a moment, relax, and work out what to do in this situation. Advisor, how are you doing? Fine. Thank you. I was Well, I was surprised to find Romulans so near Haven, and got picked up in the shuttle I was in, and well, I'm glad you managed to get me. They were they were not friendly.
Could we ask Advisor why Romulans might have wanted to?
I second that question.
I couldn't tell you, really. I'm just the advisor of a nearby planet. It's probably a misunderstanding. Why don't we head back to Haven, and I'm sure this will all be sorted out with some kind of a communique between our two governments. I'm sure it'll be fine. Nothing to worry about.
You see, the thing is, Advisor, it would be quite sensible for us to know, because it means that we know whether they're likely to try and follow us immediately or come after us with reinforcements at another time. It would be useful for us to know how imperative you are to their cause.
Well, I have no idea why they'd need me. I don't know I don't know what's gone on and why this has gone to the way it has. I'm just the Federation advisor to a small Federation colony. I'm not of any import at all.
Can I please use my empath abilities to figure out what's going on emotionally in this advisor?
Yeah, for your empathy, can you roll me insight and I think this is either security or command. It's up to you.
I'm going to go command.
Okay.
One big success and one nat 20.
There is a slightly raised eyebrow from the commander as you ask this. You're struggling to get much from the advisor. What you are getting is a sense of subterfuge. I can't give you more than that with that roll.
Advisor, I'm aware of things that happen between communities. I'm sure you might be aware of some of my community's history. We are all very discreet. It would behoove us to know.
Lieutenant, I mean, it's clear that you're not the kind of person who takes orders, and I can't order you anyway, but this is not something you need concern yourself with, and I think you of all people should be careful with that at this point. Pointed, arched eyebrow at the commander. And the commander sort of looks at the advisor, looks at you, and she's clearly confused as to why he's being so standoffish.
We're already involved, advisor. I would quite like to roll. I have a focus in investigation.
Okay. Roll me insight and...
Can it be presence? I'm trying to persuade.
Sure. Presence and security. Fine with that.
Yep. That is 3 successes.
Okay. I don't know what to tell you. Look, being the advisor of a Federation colony so far out means you have to make decisions, and I have made plenty of good decisions that have...
How about the bad decisions?
The Romulan commander of that warbird knows about some irregularities in our shipping manifests, and it was made very clear to me that I was to provide information to them, and I've been taking the shuttle to this nebula to meet and discuss matters, local matters. They didn't like my answer to a recent question, and I was kidnapped.
Irregularities in shipping. Substandard documentation seems a strange thing for the Romulans to take interest in.
The boarders here are afraid. Sorry, I don't know your name, but the boarders here are afraid, and smugglers will occasionally provide us with some much needed material that we cannot get by ourselves, and the Romulans are aware of that because they too work with the same smugglers, whose base is in this nebula.
I see. And I am Saul.
Hello, Saul. Look, I understand I have made errors, and I understand that I've made mistakes, and that has now caught another ship up in it. I will happily answer for these crimes now that Starfleet is getting involved. I am at fault.
Thank you for your clarity.
The commander looks around and goes, right, Ensign, points at random ensign over there, will you please escort the advisor to the brig? And he is escorted off the bridge of the ship.
I would just like to buzz in from engineering, if I may.
Of course, yeah.
Hello, this is engineering.
Yes, Six, we hear you.
Hi, unfortunately, one of my legs was blown off in that last altercation, you may remember. I don't want to put anyone to any trouble, but if I could get some medical assistance down here at some point this afternoon, that would be really tickety-boo.
Yes, thank you, Six. Can I get a general damage report from the rest of the ship? And damage reports start coming in. The helm has been damaged, the sensors have been damaged, and the engine has also been... There's been a couple of hull breaches around the engine room. You may want to go down and check on it. The medical bay is also just gone. Just gone. I don't know what... It just randomly, the medical bay also just gone. Hull breach, doctor gone, everything gone.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, doctor, we hardly met you.
Can I go back to my... console and start assigning security officers to go to various parts of the ship and start assisting with repairs and moving people, and maybe assign some of them to SOAR to help with medical?
I believe you have an ability called Deploy Security.
Do I?
Yes, it's in the oversight tactical reference sheet.
Oh, yes, I do. Deploy security. I can deploy the security.
Well, you have to roll to deploy security.
Presence and security.
Oh, that's very good at that.
Well, that's one success and one failure.
How many successes do you need to do it?
Normally difficulty 1.
Opposed by...
Intruders?
There are no intruders, yeah. You deploy security around to start dealing with hull breaches and injured people, and so you might want to go and help people, the engineer being obviously the first.
I was going to say, I'll head directly to 6, and then I'll start. I'll set up and coordinate with Latara to set up a sort of makeshift triage zone. I can move around, but it's better if people are sort of shuttled and brought as necessary.
Cool. As you get down to engineering has that sort of lovely like gas spewing out of conduits, and it was already a mess down there because of the Borg stuff, but it's now pretty bad. There are a couple of injured crew people, and there's a hanging wire. And yeah, as described, Six is lying on the floor, missing a leg.
Just sprawled on the console.
Not bleeding profusely because Six is a cyborg, so Six is a half Borg, so not a lot of blood loss, just looking quite badly hurt.
6, is there any pain?
I turned it off, to be honest with you, but it's
finally someone who speaks my language. A patient who gets it.
I just need some kind of vehicle to help me get around. Like the ship is falling apart, you know.
I see. I'll see if I can't reattach your leg or come up with some viable alternative to assist you in getting the ship up and running.
I'd appreciate that, so.
Can you roll me a reason and medicine? And you are because you are an android, quite aware of cybernetics. So you have
I have a focus in cybernetics.
There we go.
So even better. So that's 12 and 5 makes 17, as in the targets.
Yeah.
And I've rolled a 12 and a 3. One of those is under my medicine score. So that's 3 successes, 4 successes because of positronic brain.
Wow.
Six's leg is not flesh and blood. No.
No, it was 4.
Six's leg, I mean, there's just going to be a statted roll. If it was a 1, it was, but you can reattach Six's leg because it is just a cybernetic leg. It just can just be stuck back in and welded back into place and wired properly.
Great.
It may not be at optimal function for some time. I can look at it again once we have reached a sort of equilibrium in the status of the ship.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. It feels almost better than new, to be honest with you. You've got magic hands, Doc. Magic hands.
I assure you my hands are quite mundane.
Cool. Six, with
I shall attend to other patients.
And you do.
Yeah,
Six, with your leg reattached, you can now do a better job of looking at the ship, which is in a fucking state, to put it politely.
Technical, sir.
So I got engines offline, shields buggered, and hull breaches. What would be my priorities?
You'd probably have to ask the captain.
Okay. Can I dial through to the captain?
Well, you can ring through to anyone in command, which would probably be the commander at this point.
Okay, I'll ring through to the Commander Bilby, if I may.
Go on.
Commander Bilby, this is engineering. Hello, this is engineering.
Hello. Yes, Six. You don't need to. Go ahead.
Well, to be honest with you, Captain, the whole ship is a bit. Well, how urgently were you planning on moving us out of this location?
As soon as possible, ideally.
Could we adjust that to being quite some time? Could we? Do you think we've got quite a lot of issues down here and not a lot of things at our disposal right now?
Six, we don't know if anything's going to attack us at any moment, and we don't know where to go. So the sooner you can get anything running, ideally shields first, I'm guessing. Any other suggestions?
I've got some. I thought the shields were up. Are they not?
No.
Oh, okay. Can any of us help?
Are you good with shields, Lieutenant?
I can try.
Good, we'll take it.
In which case, if we all work together and try and fix things as soon as possible, that might be the best way of dealing with things. We'll handle regenerating the shields from up here, Chief Engineer. You please handle the engine issues.
On it. Thank you, Commander.
Right. This ship is quite good at being fixed because it has a rugged design. So, Red, can Six please roll me an engineering and a engineering plus one of your stats. I think probably reason or something similar.
Control, maybe.
Okay, I'll allow that.
It's me one success on a 4 and one fail. If you know the one, if it's got to be less than your discipline, is it less than or equal to or less than?
Only if you've got a focus.
Oh well, I do because I have warp expertise, and this is the engine, right?
Yes. In which case, yes, you get 2 successes.
Right.
And can you roll the ship's structure plus engineering as well? It's an 11.
11. Just
this
one
ship
dice.
Is a piece of crap.
That's a natural 1.
Yay!
Brilliant.
4 successes.
You are managing to fix hull breaches and sort out the power, and the engines are back online, so you'll be able to move. The helm is still going to be a little sluggish because you haven't fixed that yet, but you fixed some of the main engine problems, which is a good starting point. You're going to try and regenerate.
How many successes did we need?
Right, yes. 1 momentum is gained.
Hooray!
Can Todd go A6? Thank you, mate.
Anytime.
You were going to try and regenerate shields?
Yeah, sure.
Do you want assistance with that, or do you want someone to helmet and you assist on it?
If someone else wants to helmet, I'm happy to assist.
My engineering is not great.
My engineering is 2.
So is mine. What's the other thing we'd be rolling?
Engineering, a regenerating shield is control plus engineering, assisted by the ship's structure.
Yes,
my control's not good either.
Okay, so mine will be a 12, so I will roll.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I will assist.
Well, that is 1.
1 success.
Success.
Well, you get there are 2 shields back.
Oh.
So you'll start to power up again, but you're not got a lot of shields yet.
My assist, I've also got a success.
Yay.
Oh, so that's 4 shields. There are now 4 shields. In the meantime, the sensors are what's currently quite buggered as well. Do you want to have a handle on that, Saul? Actually, no, you're currently dealing with things.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, this is me this is not me trying to crowbar my medicine stats in, but trying to reconcile helping while doing the thing that I would actually do, which is helping the people. Can I prioritize the necessary engineering stuff to try and get back?
Yes, that's part of the crew. And that's fine, no problem at all. You're starting to get shields back. You're still struggling with sensors. You don't know where you're going, and the engines are back online, and a lot of that stuff's been fixed, but the helm will still be a little difficult to control. But you're a very good pilot, Todd, so you're not that worried about it. But you don't know where to go.
Can we tackle 6? Can we tackle the sensors next? If you're busy with the warp core, can you maybe talk us through how to do the sensors?
Sure, absolutely, no problem. Let me just dive into my own brain here for one second. Right, so you see the big red button.
Is that on the security console or on the science console?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Are you the only one there, security lieutenant?
It's me and Helm at the moment.
Oh, Helm. You know the big red button on the sensor array?
Yeah.
It's marked reset, right? Reset.
Yeah, you're right. That it is 6.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's very easy to forget that. Give it a whack, eh?
All right.
Okay, I think that counts as Anna. That counts as Todd trying to fix the sensors with assistance from engineering.
For sure.
Can I advise on this? I have been advising.
Yes, you can.
So I will assist using command.
But that means that the chief engineer can't assist.
2 people
Don't
can
know that he's
assist.
that useful.
It means the difficulty gets higher. The more people assist, the higher the difficulty gets.
But I mean, I make it so one person can re-roll.
Yours is better. It's true.
Go for it, please. I don't think I was that much use, really.
Press the reset button. How hard can it?
So, what are we looking at here? Engineering and
I'm going to say engineering and
insight?
no, insights on people.
Insight is reading the instructions, though.
No, it isn't. I'm going to say engineering and either control or daring or reason. Daring.
Or reason?
Big red
daring.
button feels daring.
Okay, so I need 12.
I'm going to roll daring and command.
Fine.
Oh, 2 successes.
Nice.
Do you have any failures, Anna?
No.
Cool.
So 3.
You can re-roll the highest one of those again if you want, but you don't need to. It's probably not worth it.
You're
No.
going to focus on this. No.
I got a 3 and a 4, so.
Oh, amazing. I've also succeeded.
Cool. The sensors are now working the way they should be. The ship has been fixed, but you're still in the middle of a nebula and have no idea where the fuck you are.
Was any of those more than we needed?
No. So you are managing to fix up the ship, and the ship is now looking slightly heartier and fitter, but you still don't know where you are. You're in the middle of this nebula, and you don't know where the warbird is, if it even is around.
Can we use the sensors to figure out the closest, edge of the nebula?
Do me a sensor sweep. So that's reason plus sciences with the ship's sensors plus sciences.
Reason plus science. Mine's only 11. Does anybody else want to do this?
Mine is even lower, but I will help you. I'll
Okay.
stand next to you.
That's not how helping works.
Oh, I got a nat 1.
I'm pointing.
One
One
got a nat
failure and a
one,
nat
nat
1.
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pointing. That's successes for me. Can I use command and
Yes.
reason?
Yeah, fine.
12. You can re-roll the failure.
Okay. 2 nat 1s.
Oh,
That's 5 successes. Do we get
Yeah.
any momentum?
You do.
Wow.
You have 3 momentum. You are together working very quickly and are managing to see points where the nebula starts to thin out, which might suggest the edge of the nebula.
Shall I set a course to this thin bit here?
It looks good to me. And
Great.
maybe avoid that sort of dark patch, though.
Perfect.
Well done, everyone. This is this is excellent work. Very impressive. As
So
you
I
fly,
start.
yeah, and you fly the ship and start flying out towards the edge of the nebula. As you do, you get a hail.
Okay.
Is there a way of telling who it's from? Is it from the Romulan ship?
You don't know.
Commander, we're
Yes.
getting a hail.
Right, on screen, please.
Yeah.
Federation vessel. This is the Romulan warbird Durex. You have one of our allies on board your ship, and we would like them returned, please. Please respond.
Commander?
Warbird Durex, this is the USS Pegasus. I understand one of our citizens was working with you, and I'm afraid as one of our citizens, he must be taken home and tried for speaking to an ally, a peculiar way of dealing with a problem. He has told us why he was speaking to you. A pregnant pause. Understood. Would you like our assistance in returning to Haven?
Commander, I suggest we turn down that request.
Why?
They didn't help us previously.
They nearly destroyed the whole Pegasus.
Warbird directs. What assurances do we have that you won't fire on us again? Over. Channel's gone dead.
I suggest we raise the shields.
Well, they're already raised at a paltry level, I believe.
I suggest we try and divert more energy to the shields. Latara to engineering.
This is engineering.
Can we try and get more power to the shields immediately, please?
Absolutely, Lieutenant. Absolutely.
Can you roll me a regenerating shields check, please? Control plus engineering.
Okay. You have 2 successes.
Assisted by the ship's structure plus engineering, which is 11.
You have 3 successes.
Splendid. So 6 more shields. Shields at max.
Any good to you?
Shields at max now, engineering. Thank you very much.
Do you want to roll me that D6 as well to see if you can use the special Borg shields?
Yes. I get a 4.
Sorry, nothing.
Blank.
The adaptive subspace field isn't working. You can't manage to make the ship resistant.
Damn.
You are getting towards the edge of the nebula. What would you like to do?
Should I just hoof it? Go really fast?
I mean, if we can, we might be able to outrun them.
I'm going to do that.
Do you think that's a wise solution, everyone?
Science, do you think we can outrun them?
Me. He's not there. He's still healing people.
No. There must be someone else on science, though.
No, there is not. That engineer got hurt in the explosion.
Well, I guess Todd would be our best person to know then. Presumably you've studied other ships when you were learning to fly.
Presumably, yes. To my best guess, am I aware of being able to outrun them?
Your ship has improved warp drive, so it is particularly good at flying at warp, so you probably would be able to, but going to warp inside a nebula would be dangerous. You'd have to fly out and then go into warp.
Sure. Mm-hmm. How long would it take me to fly out of the nebula?
1 round.
If that's what you advise, Lieutenant Todd, might suggest that we drop all power to 4 shields and improve our speed.
What if they are coming up behind us? We don't know where they are.
Well, that's why we wouldn't drop power to the aft shields.
Let's give it a go. Let's make a run for it. The best we can really hope for is a...
All right. Power and all speed.
Okay. Right, so you are trying to fly the ship out of the nebula, then go straight into warp the moment you've cleared the nebula, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. As you fly forward, as you fly the ship forward as fast as you can, there is a decloaking as the warbird appears in front of you with shields raised. The comm goes again.
We're getting another hail, Captain.
On Commander, but on yes, on screen, please.
Yeah, sorry, Commander.
Hello, USS Pegasus. This is the Warbird directs. We must insist you hand over your prisoner to us. They are, as we have recently discovered, a member of the Romulan Empire and must thus be looked after in our jurisdiction, not yours.
While they're speaking, can I swap the power from the aft shields to the 4 shields?
Yeah. Doesn't really matter in game terms here, but yes. Well, now it's a standoff. Anyone got any bright ideas?
How about the aerial maneuver backwards?
Yes. I mean, that's really designed to take you back and then go forward again, but I suppose I could try and do it to take us back and then keep going back.
Or could you potentially just reverse it and take us backwards? In other words, take us forwards over the ship and then just warp out very quickly.
I'll give it a go.
Right. Can you make me a daring plus con task? And because it is a focus specialism of yours, this maneuver that you have invented, you can do more with that.
So 2 successes.
Mm-hmm.
1 is under my con.
So that's 3 successes.
So 3 successes.
Excellent.
Is that fine?
Yeah, the ship does a sort of strange puffing leap, like it's venting plasma from a weird place, and just suddenly does a little jump, and then suddenly shoots off. Are you going into warp?
Yes.
You do, and the ship suddenly speeds up. From behind you, you can do a quick sensor sweep if you want, as the ship zooms into warp towards Haven. Who would be doing a sensor sweep?
Yeah, I assume that Helm is busy.
Helm is busy doing all this
busy.
crazy shit. Sensor sweep is a reason plus sciences.
I'm so good at that. That's one success.
Assisted by the ship's sensors plus sciences.
Is it? I've got a 10.
Yeah, that's fine. So that's two successes. The warbird is following you, but it is not as fast as you. The ship has been designed for speed and agility, and you shoot away, and you are quickly leaving
They
it
are
in your
in
wake.
pursuit, but we are faster.
Okay. I'm
And
keeping
your-
steady.
All stations, we are advancing ahead of the warbird, but be prepared with they may fire.
I mean, they're a long way away.
Blue alert.
Is that a thing?
It is. It is. It is a thing.
Should
Anyway.
we put power in the real shields?
It's already there. I will move them again.
Zoop, zoop, zoop. You zoom forward to Haven, and you will get there before the warbird does. And after a certain while, the warbird realizes you are faster and breaks off pursuit.
Commander, they are no longer in pursuit. We are no longer in blue alert.
Why are you using that indicator? I'm right here.
Well, I'm just letting the rest of the ship know as well.
Okay.
This is engineering. Did we just perform what I believe was a modified aerial? That quite infamous maneuver. That was very impressive.
Oh,
I just-
thanks, Six.
You are flying back towards Haven. Your ship is out of any danger. You are flying back towards Federation space, and you've managed to deal with this problem quite effectively. What would everyone do as the ship heads back towards Federation space, and it feels like this crisis has been averted?
Can I gently check the emotions of everybody in the bridge?
Sure. What are your emotions? What's your emotion state right now?
I'm relieved that I have not been fired.
Yes.
This is my constant state. Tara's constant state in Starfleet, just relieved that she has not been fired.
Today.
The commander is slightly concerned about what's going to happen with the captain, but otherwise pleased that the crew's working together so effectively.
And I'm assuming I can't really reach the captain from here.
You can try. Roll me an insight plus security or command.
Yeah. 2 successes, one's a nat 1.
The captain feels ashamed. You get a very strong vibe of that from...
Oh dear. Is it worth Lenara? Is it worth calling a medic to go and speak to the captain? I don't think they are doing very well.
I'll go.
Okay.
You head over to the captain's ready room.
Yep.
Do you press the buzzer?
Yep.
What?
Captain, might I have a word?
Door opens.
Go inside.
Door closes.
Just gonna stand there. Don't want to.
The captain is there's a sort of chaise longue style couch, and the captain's sort of reclining on it, looking wistfully out the window.
So Tennessee Williams.
There's a small cabinet to one side full of glass animal. No, they're just looking out the window, reclining slightly. Don't make eye contact with you.
Do you enjoy Starfleet, Captain?
Thought I did. I've made a note in the file that you disobeyed orders. I've also made a note that you were correct to do so and that I should be reprimanded.
Thank you, Captain. I believe I should probably be reprimanded as well.
That's not how this works.
That kind of is how command structures work.
No, not in this case. You saved a lot of lives and appear to have uncovered a bit of a conspiracy which needed to be dealt with there, so that's You did what you thought was best, and frankly, doing what you think is best is more important than following command structures rigidly. Don't forget that.
I'll try. Can I suggest something?
Yes.
I think you might need a holiday.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong.
I know that we've not had a lot of chance for that, but we're nearly home.
I don't know how a ship's supposed to do this. The missions are designed for a year, and then if you get stuck in these long, winding missions doing all sorts of crazy things that no one was prepared for, that's not a good way to run a ship.
I think it's probably a mindset thing.
Maybe.
But I think maybe I would take some time away.
Yes, there's a cushy desk job with my name on it, I think, somewhere.
I think you'd be good at that.
Maybe.
I don't think you're a bad captain.
Thank you, Sol. You're an excellent chief of security. Right. Thank you. You may leave. I'm trying some of these things that the nurse prescribed.
It's a good idea.
They are quite soothing.
I leave.
It's a pack of jelly beans. They bite the head off first. Anyone else want to do anything? You're heading back to Haven. The crisis is over. Anything want to wrap anything up?
What's the level of how many casualties did we sustain, and what can I do in terms of, because presumably with the medical bay gone, that impacts or limits my ability to deal as well, other than like field medicine, which I can do that.
You are able to.
Yeah.
You are able to replicate everything that you need because the ship has replicators and the power's back running, so that's fine. You are able to help people. There's a couple of casualties, not many, like maybe 3.
I would probably like not reading the ship. Not reading the ship, I would probably like commandeer the bar or like whatever passes for that kind of like the thing that people are going to be needing. That's probably the space. Like, oh, we're not using this right now. We can turn this into the makeshift.
The space is ineffective.
Yeah, underutilized during combat. We can use this. I'm using that as a way of just getting through the most serious injuries and just sort of figuring out what I'm gonna do now, but mostly unstressed about it.
Yeah. Good.
I think when we get off duty tonight, we should all have a drink.
I totally agree with you, Lenara.
Yeah, I think it'd be great to just go and hang out in the bar. 6, when we get off duty, you up for a drink?
No thanks. Socializing is inefficient. I'm going to go back to my pod and recuperate, but thank you.
Hey, 6. How's your leg?
It's great. Even better than it was before. It's got all these kind of new technologies inside of him. He's got magic hands, that doc, I tell you.
And with that in mind, I think that's probably a good place to draw things to a close. Lovely. Quickly uncovered, quickly dealt with. Thank you, everyone. Good stuff. I've lost my script.
Doom.
Thank you everyone for joining us for the Star Trek Renegade. If you enjoyed tonight, we're playing a new Dungeons and Dragons stream on Monday nights from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. The last episode of Baldur's Gate Framed has just passed, so our last big season has just finished, but we're about to kick off with Eberron, which should be on this coming Monday. Do check it out. Eberron Terminus, a new game DM'd by Kai Mashita. Do check that out. It will be great fun. That's 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. GMT on our channel and twitch.tv/D&D. We also currently, it was a live show in London, but at the moment, because of being careful and self-isolation messages, we're going to be running the other game that we do, Undergods, which is a monthly game that will be running at a later point in April. Do check our Twitter and social media to find out more about that. And there are plenty of other Modiphius adventures, Modiphius entertainment games, Star Trek Adventures, John Carter of Mars games on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/adventurerswanted. Do check those out as well. And if you want to support us in a different way, we're on Patreon too. You can patreon.com/adventurerswanted, become a patron and join in everything that we do. Get access to blogs, homebrews, and other stuff that we engage with. And all our social medias are Adventurers Wanted, apart from Twitter, where we're Adventurers250. So that's basically it from us, I think, and a big wave from everyone. There we go. Thank you, everyone, and see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.